if people knew that business is transformed from technological advances or just failure of the business model to work, like, you're not going to go to Blockbuster anymore. You got Netflix, hotels to Airbnb. You don't call up the taxi, you call up the Uber. And this is a transformation of healthcare. And that's because the healthcare system is completely broken.
Where you're talking about Uber taking over the taxi industry, when that happened, that industry was a $21 billion industry. Healthcare is a $4.6 trillion industry. Massively different. So this is a huge shift, so huge. Yahoo Finance is actually writing about this company, saying it is the disruptor.
Okay, welcome. This is going to be an exciting talk. I'm super excited to introduce number one, Dr. Randi Shannon. Now, naturopathic doctor, author of Tongue Tales, and founder of the Body Can website. You got to check that site out. It's amazing. Blending ancient wisdom with modern and practical strategies to unlock healing potential. And Kelby Smith, my brother from another mother, executive director of His Advocates, educating on becoming self-governed Americans. You got to check into that. Ability to reach millions of uncensored through His Advocate network. The both of them are here to educate us on and how to participate and benefit from the decentralized and disruption of traditional insurance to the health sharing movement. I've been getting into this, and it is amazing, amazing. Now, for those of you meeting you folks for the first time, can you please introduce yourselves and share your stories?
So I am a naturopathic doctor. I'm in Miami, Florida, but actually my clients are all over the world, kind of like you, Dr. Bergman. I'm in all 50 states and 18 countries. I look at faces, fingernails, tongues, other marks of concern on the body. And from that, I can see what's going on with the organs in the body. And then we go from there and we work on reversing whatever that issue is. And I have been an author, wrote a children's book last year. It became a bestseller. I'm very excited. That's on Amazon. And I'm a former Fox affiliate talk show host. I don't really like to talk in the past, but I did that up until there was a certain time where the country came to a screeching halt. And when that happened, of course, my voice was different. And so I got a little throttled over that. So that became no more. And so now my main way of getting the word out about what's going on is I get to go on shows like yours. So I'm super blessed. It actually did me a favor in the long run, and my voice carries so much farther. So super excited to be on here with all of you today. It's going to be a great time.
That's a cool story. I mean, you figure, I always thought that the was going to be like crazy horrible. It helped people wake up. I mean, God bless you for having the strength and character and vision to take a new pathway. Now, Kelby, tell them your story.
Everybody needs to listen to what Randi just said about health and what she does and how she helps people like you, Dr. Bergman. She's a true healer. I know of a lot of people that have been truly blessed with cancer and many, many issues. So please check her out. I ended up starting my own television network called His Advocates TV. So my only shameless plug today is please go download His Advocates TV on your cell phone, Apple, Android. It's 2 words. And you will be amazed by what you find out. People like yourself, Randi, and thousands of channels eventually long-term will be a part of the network. And the way that I construct it is to allow for free speech and allow for the counter narrative to take place. So I'm a real estate broker by trade. I was pulled out of that industry in 2008. I've done thousands of loans. I'm an expert on chain of title. I'm an expert on helping people with foreclosure. But I started His Advocates, and what came forward from there was just an unrolling of the lies and the narratives that we all receive. Guys like you are super important, Dr. Bergman, and what you teach and what you do to help heal people. And I think once people start waking up to the truth, which is why I created the network, His Advocates TV, is so that we can get that truth out to the world without fear of repercussion, without fear of being taken down. And I can't even go into what I had to do to get that accomplished, but it's a big deal. And what we all do collectively, especially in today's show, is going to change the map. People need to stand up and start speaking out with their dollars, and that's what we're going to get into today.
And that's the cool thing, because you guys have been on two totally different life paths, but you're joining forces now, and in something called impact health sharing to the nation. And this is something that I was introduced a couple of months back, and it blew my mind. And not just the potential, but the instant savings of actual money and better health outcomes. Now, can you briefly explain and introduce us to this new concept?
Yeah, I tell you, and it is amazing that Kelby and I, we worked together years ago, and it's amazing that we were able to come back together, and he's now brought you and others into my life and into my world and circles. So it's fantastic. But Impact Health is the disruptor of the healthcare system that we've known all of our lives. We've only known those big companies, and we've known deductibles that could bankrupt a family. If a family decided to have a bunch of kids, that would take a family down also if a bunch of them had to go to the hospital all in the same year. And in fact, healthcare is cited as the #1 cause of bankruptcy in this country. So it had to be disrupted. And so Impact Health is doing just that. And there's a whole lot of details we're going to actually list off here today that separate this company from all of the giants that we've all known that are paying themselves $25 million CEO bonuses and taking payrolls of $1.2 billion. I'm all about making money, and I believe everyone has a right to. But I also don't believe in the system bankrupting the people and holding them down just so that certain industries can just massively thrive off of our backs. And so this is the replacer of the healthcare system that we have all known all of our life.
Yeah, if people knew that businesses transform from technological advances or just failure of the business model to work, like, you're not going to go to Blockbuster anymore. You got Netflix, hotels to Airbnb. You don't call up the taxi, you call up the Uber. And this is a transformation of healthcare. And that's because the healthcare system is completely broken. And these are literal. Well, that was kind of loud. This is literally the broken system, and this is the transformation of that into new a new product that saves us money. Now, the current status of the status quo of the healthcare, confusing, bureaucratic. You have a bureaucrat discussing on what therapies you can get or what you can't get. Now, how do you guys come in to solve these issues?
Where you're talking about Uber taking over the taxi industry, when that happened, that industry was a $21 billion industry. Healthcare is a $4.6 trillion industry. Massively different. So this is a huge shift, so huge. Yahoo Finance is actually writing about this company, saying it is the disruptor. And we're not going to put them out of business. They're still going to be here. But if we take somebody like you, for example, where we just priced you out and we only did it by your date of birth, we could see just from that we were going to save you about $24,000 in the course of a year. So if an American family has the ability to put that kind of money back on their table in their gas tank, they're going to do it. They're going to take advantage of that, because look at what's happened to us for the last 4 years alone in this country. So again, you look at like Amazon, it wiped out tons of stores. Toys R Us is completely gone. You mentioned the hotel industry. That's completely. Now, when I travel, I do Airbnbs more often than not. This, as technology changes and becomes disrupted, new industries have a hope and a prayer. And we are at that point. Now I'll let Kelby hop in there on that second half.
Well, I think Randy, the thing that got me most excited was the cost at first. And then I did a side-by-side comparison, and I'm like, there really is no comparison. The health coverage, when you're looking at like what you were saying, where the CEO, he's on a $25 million salary, and he's, you know, paid himself a $1.3 billion bonus.
It's crazy.
You don't get that because you're paying your claims, and you don't get that because you're an excellent CEO. You get that because you enforce a mantra, which is really what all the insurance companies are doing, trying to keep people in a position where they're sick instead of in a position where they're healthy. And so when you start to look at what the narratives of what the insurance companies are doing compared to what the actual health coverage company Impact Health does, there is no comparison. If I had to pick a policy and just policies side by side, I would all day long choose Impact, not because of the price point, but because of the coverage. The coverage is 10 times anything you're going to get with health insurance. And so when you look at and you ask a serious question like, what is the difference? The difference is you're not dealing, fortunately now you have choices where you can impact your community, where you're taking money away from these companies who are shoving advertisements and trillions of dollars into pharmaceuticals and things that really aren't helping. I don't disagree with all pharma, but I'm disagreeing with what I've seen in a lot for the last 10 years. I'm disagreeing with what is being reported on VAERS. I'm disagreeing with, the natural selection process. I would just suggest that we really dive into this today, because we need to start voting with our dollars to things that we believe in. We all will hold an account one day or another. We all have one thing that's certain in life, and that is that we will pass. So let's make some good decisions while we are here. Let's keep tens of thousands of dollars in our pocket, and let's have real health care initiated for all of our families.
So the insurance system is completely broken, disruptive, just like Blockbuster, is now moving into something more advanced. I mean, absolutely. And so health insurance currently does not work. And so I'm talking just layman terms, because I'm real good at anatomy and physiology, but health sharing, how does it work? Because it'll function, but it's not health insurance. But we don't need the broken health insurance system. This is now health sharing. So can you explain how it works?
So the differences, I'll give you several differences. For example, traditional health insurance, you're going to have a deductible per family member. Okay. With Impact Health, you're going to have one deductible per household. That's a huge one. I've always felt like that was a scam with traditional insurance, because how will the bills ever stop? They won't. With health sharing, you're going to have 24/7. If you don't want to go to the hospital, you can call 24/7 teledoc. You can have a doctor on the phone. It's included in that. Discounted dental and vision included, whereas they will charge extra for that or not even provide it at all. Okay, so those are some things. Health sharing, we also, we cover the whole entire family, but we stop billing at the third person. So if you have kids 4, 5, 10, 20, if you happen to be one of those TV families, you are not charged extra for that. That's just thrown into your plan. Whereas they're going to charge you for each individual. Okay, and healthcare sharing, it's not a new concept. It's actually been around over 40 years. And the way it's worked in the past is you would go to that hospital, pay that bill, and then turn your receipts in and hope that you would get paid. This system, this new system, this disrupting system to the dinosaur that's been in play all this time, is they actually communicate electronically. So if you happen to go in, and I'll give an example, we had a guy go in, had a $540,000 bill. And because we are a 501c3, we repriced that bill and knocked all the pork off. So because by law, they have to come down to what we call fair market value. They can't charge all that extra. So that $540,000 bill went to approximately 520, or they knocked 525,000 off. So they were left with 15, 20,000. Okay. All he was responsible for was his deductible. We call it a PRA because we're not a health insurance company, so we don't use their terms. And so he had I think a $2,500 or a $5,000 deductible. And then once you pay that, then your copay kicks in. A copay, all insurance companies have it. Okay. And so do the health shares. The dinosaurs are 20 to 30%. We are a flat 10%, no matter which plan of ours you're on. And we have caps. They never have caps, which means you will forever be billed if you're continually going. So there is just savings everywhere. And let's just use me as an example. I'm 56 years of age. Those other companies quoted me between $750 and $1,150. And here I pay $150. Massive, massive difference. I can think of over 1,000 other things that I would love to do with those savings every single month, and I do. So we actually pay the bill, we reprice the bill. You're not having to get the receipts and then turn them into us. The hospital communicates with the company directly, and then they price that bill, and it just drops way down. It's huge. And those are some of the major things. Also, if it's a new client, we've just added a new thing. We're always adding things to it because it's been so successful. So if you're brand new, Dr. Bergman, and your doctor has never heard of us, it's okay. Our company does an onboarding call with you that's about 15 minutes long. And they're going to ask you, who's your primary care physician, PCP or general practitioner, whatever. They're going to ask you that. And they will call ahead to that doctor, set up a physical, and pay him in advance for that and blood work. That's unheard of. No other company anywhere does that. And so the average American is spending somewhere, a younger person, they're spending upwards of $500 a month. I just told you I spend $150 and I'm 56. So like the age, we're massively saving the clientele. And then if you look at families today, they're all spending at least $2,000 a month. And again, that drops way down. I don't have any family that's spending over $550 a month. And that's, 3 family members. There's, they're taking the lowest deductible. So that's worst case scenario. So
that is brilliant. The negotiation. I didn't know about that. Like I've seen people have come in with like a quick emergency room visit where they were hit by a bicycle or something. And, you see on there $20 Tylenol, and you got the ability to negotiate that down into normal human prices.
Yeah. Anything that comes from the hospital is negotiated down.
That's incredible. Yeah. And since the insane laws in our country require you to have some kind of health insurance, this thing covers that. Right. So, I mean, I'm paying $1,000 a month for something that I'm never going to use. Incredible.
Even on our highest worst plan, which that none of them are bad, you still would save 50%. You're saving even more. So it's unbelievable.
And just to add to what Randy's already said, remember something, and I don't know if we brought this up yet, but this is an open network. This isn't a PPO. This isn't an HMO. You open the book and you decide the doctor and you go. You're not waiting 3 months for approval for a specialist for something going wrong with your back or your heel. You just go. And that's, secondly, there's patents that are involved. And these patents there's 7 specifically. And the one that Randy was speaking about, which is kind of what I've dug into and why it makes sense to me now, is the one where they're using a technology, whether it's EDS or blockchain or what have you, to make that connection and say, well, here's the industry conforming standard, plus we're a 501c. Now you can take the deduction and the write-off for the expense that you're losing on this bill, but we'll pay you in 15 days versus a year and a half and contest the video or contest the bill with like what Blue Cross or Blue Shield does. And I'm not making that as a standard for them, but they do that a lot. Yeah. And so it's insurance-wise, coverage-wise, there's nothing like it.
And still, would you mention that the majority of bankruptcies are from medical expenses, and these are
Right.
people with insurance? I mean, just negotiating the bill down, that's going to save too. It's literally going from the 8-track. Wait, people won't remember that. The cassette to digital. I mean, this is incredible. I don't shoot films anymore. I shoot electronic images. I mean, it's incredible. The main differences between health sharing and traditional health insurance. So you're describing that you talk the bills down, you can meet with it, you can choose any provider. And this is the evolution of taking care of our health. I mean, what are the main differences? I mean, you've already covered a whole bunch of them.
The ones that speak to me are outside of cost, an average of 50 to 70% off what you're paying with insurance. The ones that speak to me are the whole house deductible. It's called a PRA again because we're not insurance, but the whole house versus individual. So if like somebody they got their payment to go see a doctor, and if they need to be checked in for whatever, then they got to meet their deductible individually per family member. With this, if you select $2,500 deductible or PRA, it's for the entire family. Secondly, all of the things that normally would not be covered under insurance, chiropractic visits, acupuncture, physical health, anything that has to do with wellness. Plus, they give actually credits towards your deductible for gym memberships, for vitamins, for these things that you're doing to make yourself well.
Anything.
Yeah, anything you post, they'll give you up to $100 a month off the deductible. This company wants to see you well. Let's just be real for a second. If the pharmaceutical industry and the insurance industry wanted to see you well, they would be creating products and services that would make you well. Instead, a lot of people that are going to these places for services that you'd figure we'd be able to get, free from, or, no longer be sick from, and they're not making it through. They're not making it out of that hospital. And the only way to make it out of a hospital is to pack your bags and go to a place like Dr. Bergman and start working on your wellness and start working on the natural ways to heal your body. And there's a whole lot more than that. But the Impact Health is by far the best option to assist you. If you get in a car accident, you can go to a doctor for anything. You can actually go to a doctor for free for anything. 24/7. They do online telephone doctors. There's prescriptions that are beating Costco's prices. Dental is included. Vision is included. It's a full healthcare coverage program.
And I'll tell you, doctors love us like you, Dr. Bergman, because we send a lot of clients over to them because this company actually gives up to 50 outpatient visits per household per year. So if you take somebody like me who goes to the chiropractor maybe 4 times a year, I could literally use you 50 times a year on this plan. Maybe I want to use it for mental health or something else. There's a few things that fall under that category. So doctors love us. Doctors are actually advertising us and putting banners in their storefronts because people come in all the time to the eye doctor, to the dentist, and to chiropractors and say, do you know of a great healthcare that I can pick up that will help me with this so I can come more and do what really needs to be done to truly get that work done? And this company actually does do that and encourages that. And they pay the doctors very well, typically on average, 30 to 40% more than they would get otherwise.
There is a fear factor where people have their health insurance. They may have past health issues and they want to hold on to it. It's like they're clinging to a raft. And you have this beautiful ship of a brand new health caring system, not the stupid old health insurance that's, drug funded, pharmaceutical funded. And break open that, understand that this is the evolution of caring for your health. It really is. And it took me a while to understand it, but it's getting over that fear factor and the differences that you folks have already explained between health sharing and the traditional. Crazy. And you're talking about an instant value. Now, Dr. Randi, can you share like a brief history of how the health sharing started? I know it started as a Christian organization and it's open to all face everything. Can you go over some of the details there?
Yeah, you're right. It did start out somewhere around 40 plus years ago. So it's not a new thing on the scene. It's just there was some quirks about the old system that the executives, vice president, and our founder, Phil Chrysler, said, you know what, we're going to do it different and we're going to make it better. We're going to be, it's like healthcare 2.5, 3.0, 4.0. It's evolved. And now the actual founders of this were with those other companies, and then they stepped down. Some of the executives and the vice president and our founder, that's where their background was. But they came over here and got rid of all the things that they didn't like. Let's say, again, if you went to the hospital, you had to actually pay that bill and turn in those receipts and hope to get paid back. It's not the case with us. And one other thing that we didn't mention is, let's say you're on vacation in, let's say, Italy, and you have an emergency over there. Now, you can't live abroad and go get your physical over there. This is an American product. This is true grassroots, made in America company. But you're over there, you have an emergency, you actually probably still have to pay that bill over there, but you are able to bring it back in that case because it's international. And so they're not in our billing system, but you will be able to turn in those receipts and this company will pay those bills. So I've found companies here in the States, I've had clients on that were from Idaho, went to Montana, had an emergency there, and they were told because it crossed state line, they would not be covered. And Kelby brought that up. We actually, if I think that in California, there's a better doctor for me than here in Florida, I can just get on his calendar and go. We have no network restrictions, no doctor, no facility restrictions. We can go wherever we want. So you've got clients all over America. And if they want to use you, they can. They just got to make the trek over to you and get on your calendar.
So this is the next evolution of caring for your health. It's not going along the pharmaceutical model. You cover expenses of literally taking care of your health, going to a naturopath, gym, everything else. I mean, and you get immediate savings. So you qualify for that government requirement of having insurance and you start saving money right away. Duh.
Exactly.
How can we got to get people, they've got to be able to participate. Now, what kind of actions can they take right now to participate in this movement so they can start saving money right now and taking care of their health?
100%. Thank you. If it were me, I would simply call the number right here below on the screen. I'm sure the doctor will post it at some point for you to understand how you can benefit, like what the cost will be for you and your family. Don't just stop there. Many of you are business owners. Many of you have 7 to 10, 15 employees. One of the things not being discussed is 49% of all small businesses in this nation are late on their rent. I am turning on businesses in this company or through this company Impact, and the average company with 8 to 10 employees is saving $70,000 to $80,000 a year. The average company, small business.
Wow.
That sounds like we're going to put them right back on track with their rent. And so it's not just that, but you're giving them a better quality insurance. Take action. Do something for your family that makes a major change. If you're going to have health insurance, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to be in your best interest. Impact has paid 100% of their claims for the last 6 years. 100%. They started 6 years ago. So they accept you for any faith that you have. You can come one, come all. And it's a mentality that I certainly appreciate. And now you have health coverage that is truly better than health insurance. And it actually has your best interest at heart.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, Dr. Randi and Kelby, how can my audience follow you? Because to get more details on this is not just life-changing, life-saving. It's literally the next evolution. You got to get on board, and you've got tons of information on past videos and things. How can they follow you, folks?
We literally put together a toll-free line for you. It is 877-311 847. There we go. And the letters on the phone are DVIP. What's that stand for, doctor?
Dr. VIP.
There you go. So 877-311-3847. Call that number. We will get you set up at Dr. Bergman's website. We'll get you, it's super, it's literally less than 60 seconds, 30 seconds to get a quote. And it takes just a few more minutes to get you signed up. If you have other questions, we can answer that. If it's something that even Kelby and I can't answer, which that's far and few between, but if there is something, we actually connect you to the corporate office and they will call you back. They'll have a 15, 20-minute call with you. And even when you're brand new and set up, remember, they're going to do an onboard call with you and answer all your extra questions. And they'll even set up your physical and your blood work with your doctor. And they will pay him in advance, which is the unheard of part of this. And I know, Kelby, you also talk about the patented technology with this company. I've heard you mention that. It's so informative about why that just puts us extra level.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, just to get the ability. I mean, it's not just industry, conforming standards. An Advil, $30, and it's really not. The ability for them to make that connection automatically and get that link and payment and all that, whether it's smart contracts or whatever, that patent is super important and good for impact. They're passing the cost savings of those major bills onto the people, the members. And like you said, Phil Chrysler, the president and CEO of Impact, he's already made his money. He's not pulling it out of Impact. And so it's exciting to watch the people be rewarded. Imagine being in your church and you go and you're like, I need help. Well, that's what this is you got 1,000 people you don't know walking up to you and handing you hundreds of dollars to pay your bills, except Impact manages it all. And it operates 100% like insurance. You have a card, looks exactly like an insurance. They flip it over. There's a number on the back of the card. And all they have to do is look at the number on the back, call it in, and they will see that you have, they call it out of area network coverage. It's simple. They don't understand the technology. We just can go anywhere we want. We're spoiled little beings now, and we got the VIP card, and we're able to go anywhere we want, see any doctor we want, and it's covered.
One of the biggest things that I was concerned with is my monthly fee of $1,500 a month is going to drop down to around $200 a month, and how do I get the same service or better service for less money? What is that? How does that happen?
And you know what's amazing is we haven't even raised our prices in 5 years, whereas the ones you're paying now raise them every single year. Nothing changes. And in fact, the product is actually better, even though you're spending less. And that's because we're not paying those CEO bonuses. We're not paying for commercials or television advertising. They just pay independent people like me to talk about it and Kelby to talk about it. And so there's a massive savings in there just in that alone. It does have an ethic-based foundation, but we accept everyone. We accept every race, every religion, whereas some of the older versions, they were a little bit exclusionary. We're very inclusionary. We're bringing everybody on board. So your product, your end product is better and you'll spend less for it.
Very cool. Very cool. A third of my world is spent in Thailand, and they have such a harmonious relationship. And I'm talking with Buddhists, Christians, Muslims. In one block, you'll pass a Catholic church, Buddhist temple, Muslim. You'll hear the prayer at nighttime, which is just gorgeous. Yeah. It's there is one God. I'm glad it's inclusive.
That's right. So it's perfect. They've really put the best of all worlds together here in one place. And it's very exciting.
Not just that, Randy. That is all absolutely true. The icing on the cake for me was the patents. The patents that this company holds and that they pass through the benefit savings to the consumer, where a bill gets presented by a hospital, they bring it down to industry conforming standards, make an automatic connection, get the payments done, and it's all short, quick, and concise. The average bill from a hospital is reduced to 5 to 25% of the bill amount. That is why we get the premiums we get.
Very cool. Oh my gosh. It's a no-brainer. We got to sign up for this. This is incredible.
Now, when they do call that toll-free line, I do want to say that they're going to get a voice message and one of us will call them back. Any of your assistants, Kelby's assistants, mine, or me personally, or Kelby personally, we will be calling them back for any questions that they're not finding answered there. There is also a FAQ, and I know you're going to put your link below the video as well.
That one of the biggest things, and this was by one of the most brilliant doctors that was one of my instructors. He talked about lag time, and this is the space of time between getting a new idea and implementing the new idea. The difference between people that are successful in life and love and health and everything is there's zero lag time. You've got this information. You have to take a move now. A phone call is very easy, very simple. And this is the evolution of caring for your health, not this BS, antiquated, pharma-funded sick care system. This is really taking care of your health. Zero lag time means success. Make the call today. I can't promote you guys more. I mean, this is incredible. It's going to change lives.
Absolutely.
I mean, saving money right away, concentrating on health. God, I hope this is part one of multiple parts.
You know it is.
It will be.
You know it is.
Dr. Randi, you're amazing. You're making differences in lives. You're working with the body, not against the body. Kelby, you're saving hearts, minds, and souls, brother.
Love it.
In cash.
In cash. Yeah.
In cash.
A penny saved is a penny earned. Oh my God.
Right.
Hundreds of dollars saved is hundreds of dollars earned. Make the call now. God bless you both. Thank you so much. This has been amazing and enlightening. I learned every time I talk to you folks, I learn more stuff.
Thank you,
We
brother.
love you, Dr. Bergman.
We do.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So does your whole audience. So God bless you.
God bless you too.